Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we give you 3 or 4 interesting tech topics, get you on your way in about 20 minutes. I got more emails this week than most, and we get a bonus day today. But
Yes.
if you have a story you want to hear, Creation Station at Broward.org comes right to me. Today I've got Miss Anna Marie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Happy Leap Day, everybody.
Yes, Leap Day.
Yes.
It's a very so first tell people where you are and what you do.
Well, I'm here at Southwest Regional Library. I'm a library specialist with our adult reference department. So I do a lot of the tech programming. I work with our creation station. And yeah, just really
Which
happy
is
to be here.
why she is on, because
Yes.
this is Creation Station month. I
hmm
know, don't worry, just like last week. I know it's early, but we've got lots of cool people to highlight and show. So we want to make sure we're
hmm
letting everybody get on. And you mentioned Leap Day. So yes, it is Leap Day. I hope everybody
hmm
understands why we have a Leap Day, because you need to catch the calendar up and get it in sync every 4 years ish. There's a
Ish.
whole complicated formula that only happens. We miss a year every once in a while.
Yeah.
But the trivia bit for you today, this is the only time Tech Talk Weekly will be on a leap day, because the next time it will be on a Thursday is in 2052.
Oof.
And even I am not optimistic enough to believe that in 30 more years, I'm still going to be doing a podcast.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be busy that day.
Yeah,
So
it
sorry.
might just be, yeah. But speaking of people who are really, really busy,
Yes.
man, Intuitive Machines, they did a great job.
Wonderful job.
This time last week, we were talking about the spacecraft is supposed to come down in another hour. It ended up not happening at the right exact moment. We'll get to that in a second. But
hmm
look at this picture. Is that
I love
amazing?
it. I love it. I think there's another one.
So, in case you've been living under a rock, Odie, as they have been calling it in their terms, did land on the moon, managed to make a mostly soft landing, started transmitting stuff, started getting some really good detail information out to everyone. And
Mhm.
this is a picture just seconds before landing. And you can see where one of the landing struts broke as it, well, we don't know exactly how it broke, when it broke, where it broke. Um, but you can still see it as it's coming down towards the surface of the moon,
Mhm.
and it lands, stays for just a second or so, and then tumbles to this side where the broken strut is.
Just a little. Yeah. Some hardware issues, but I think they did a great job. Really
Yeah,
great job.
yeah, and it's amazing because, well, first off, we don't know how the strut broke, because this is a machine that was built like this, with all the struts out and everything inside of
Mhm.
the rocket when it was launched. So it could have broken on takeoff. It could have broken at some point on the way there. It could have broken as it was trying to land on the moon, because, and that's what our second article is all about, is that it is a mess. They had a mess of this thing trying to get this to land on the moon, because someone forgot to pull a pin, or technically
Yep.
put the pin in. And of course, all the comments are in the show notes for you. So all these articles, you can go check it out and read yourself.
Mhm.
We have the craziest story as part of this. Someone forgot to put the pin in a spot before they sealed up the launcher. So when it went to go pull the pin, it wasn't there to pull that would activate the sensors so it could land.
Yes, but their team pulled together. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
doing a lot of work on the ground. I think I read they were working with some of NASA's tech to coordinate exactly where they were. So,
Yeah.
worked really hard to actually get it to land.
And it was, again, like you said, it's amazing how they did this. They,
Mhm.
one of the reasons they landed late was because they found the error just in time before they tried to have it land on the moon. Then they spent a couple hours rebuilding the software for how to trick it with other sensors that were already on the spacecraft,
That's
and
hard.
then upload the software update and run it, and then cross your fingers and hope it works. And it did.
Yes. Yeah, one of the comments on the article that I saw was that they crashed in style, and I
Yes.
really think they did. And
Yeah.
it's a successful mission. They're getting the data back that they set out to
Yeah.
get. So,
And it's
yeah.
supposed to die today, this Thursday. But it was only supposed to last for 2 more days anyway. So it's if it dies today, it's only dying a day or 2 earlier. And then
Nice.
today they reissued a new potential power. They saved enough power that they think they can get it to come back maybe in 3 more weeks. Which, if you remember from our show a couple of months ago, when Japan did a landing like this, and their little lander landed on its side, took in some solar panels, got some stuff going, did its experiments, shut down, and then they were able to reignite 3 weeks later when the sun comes back out. So they're hopeful that Odie's going to do the same thing.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And it's only
Here,
gonna get better from here. They're
yeah,
gonna learn
exactly.
from this. Yeah.
And you, as a taxpayer in the United States, if you are living here in the United States, I know we get people from all over the world. NASA put in only about 40% of the money for this. And the amount that they put in goes down and down and down going forward as the company builds its own things, goes on and does all this stuff. This is all individual money, corporations, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the picture with people standing next to it to show you just how pretty small this whole thing is. It's
Yeah.
only 14 foot tall.
Yeah.
It would fit it'll fit in the in the front of the lobby, fit in someone's living
It really
room.
would. Yeah. Yeah. It's impressive. And I mean, I love that they did have the partnership with NASA for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this picture here shows you one of those solar panels that's leaning towards the ground instead of pointed up at the sky, which is
Mm-hmm.
why it's not collecting as much power as they needed it to. But we have other scientific stuff to talk about,
Yes, we do.
including too much of a good thing.
Yep. It's a man-made issue that
Uh-huh.
we are seeing today compared to last century. It's unfortunate, but it's a great study that has at least caught our attention for
Yeah.
for today. It did remind me of, I just saw an article about microplastics in
Mm-hmm.
the percentage found in tested placentas, and it was 100%.
Yeah.
So just, these sort of experiments looking into our health and seeing how we're impacting. But yeah, niacin causing vascular inflammation.
So if you don't know, niacin is an essential vitamin B3, effectively,
Hmm.
that you need in your body. All of us need it. All humans do, to keep on doing stuff for your body to function properly. And because of that, over the last century, it has been mandated by the FDA and lots of other people that certain foods have it added in to be fortified,
Yes.
as they say,
Yes.
so that it will guarantee that people get enough in their diet, just like iodine and other things that we need and are put into certain products. It just so happens we really, really like the products that they've put niacin in. And so American consumers are now eating way more than they need to of this.
A lot of the foods, I thought this was interesting. A lot of the foods that it's fortified in are foods that fall into the Mediterranean diet, which you
Yeah.
hear all the time. We should be switching
Mhm.
over to a Mediterranean diet: fish, poultry, nuts, legumes, whole grains, and that's exactly
Yeah.
where this vitamin is
Yeah.
found. But something you can avoid, I saw that it's in a lot of energy drinks. So you
Yeah.
can't
Stay away
really
from
cut
energy
out
drinks.
some
Yeah. Yeah.
staple food items, but energy drinks, that's
Yeah. And if you stick with natural, with like the legumes, if you're going to be using your various types of beans and doing all those things, use natural ones instead of canned ones or frozen ones, and that way you won't have the additive portion of it.
there you go.
So at least that will reduce some of it.
Yes.
It's just like you mentioned microplastics. You can, if you want to go through a lot of extra effort, you can get rid of them by boiling it.
I didn't
So
know
like the
that.
microplastics that are in your water, all you have
Uh-huh.
to do is every time you want a glass of water, go take that glass of water, then boil it. That removes all the microplastics. Then you can drink it after you cool it back down.
That's wild. I mean, a
It's a
credit
lot of
card's
effort.
worth of microplastics a week is, something
Yeah,
to be concerned about enough that
it
we
is.
would
Oh,
I'd
100%.
boil my water for
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh,
So,
I have
yeah.
filters on everything
Yeah.
nowadays. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. At work, everywhere.
Yep.
Um, so Anna Marie, are
Yes.
you a woman?
I am. I am indeed.
Are you a psychopath?
I really hope not. But hey, could be caught late.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So in all seriousness, this story hit my inbox, hit my news feeds, everything. Everybody was teasing me about it because if you remember a few weeks, like 4 episodes ago, we did
Mhm.
a thing on how some physical characteristics and ways to tell if you're a psychopath. And now there's this story that says more women may be psychopaths than were previously thought. And I think my niece was my favorite commenter, where she sent me a meme that said, any girl who's been in the 8th grade understands this.
Yeah. It's an emotional minefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So part of this article, you have to read the article, and then of course there's a study associated with it. But one of the cool things about this study is it shows that how men and women are different in expressing their anger, their self worth, and how they think other people should be looking at them,
Mhm.
and what they do about it. Where men get very physically violent sometimes, or do things that will really cause physical damage or stress, whereas women do much more emotional type things. And to
Mhm.
be clear, this is not saying all women. This is not, they're trying very
Of
hard to not
course.
be stereotypical about it. But this, I'm looking for my thing. What did you read this article to tell me, memory?
Yeah, I mean, we're socialized differently. So, I mean, it is to be expected that if you're going to have that same sort of underlying psychopath, characteristic in
Hmm.
you, it's going to come out differently based on how you were raised and the social expectations placed on you. So, having a more nuanced look in determining who could be a psychopath
Yeah.
is very interesting. I did have one critique of
Tell
the
me.
article because um, they are skewed to show how this is going to impact a workplace. And I I personally think, high level executive CEO, yeah, I mean maybe they're power hungry, but I was just a lot more interested in seeing how these results would have more of a social implication than just like a
Hmm.
quarter productivity goal.
Yeah.
So, the way the study was presenting it was like a, a bit just something that I'm not too interested in. Of course, I want a safe workplace just as anybody else, but
Yeah.
it was a little skewed to just talk about how it's going to affect productivity and
Yeah. And one of the things that they gave like 8 words to in the entire article to was like, it's 1% of men that
mhm,
are psychopaths. 20% of men have some sort of traits of this, and women only have 12% of traits. They can't even this study didn't say women could be full-blown psychopaths. They couldn't find enough in their
right,
study to say, like you can with men, that here's a 1%, here's what happens to you. This is a thing of, these are the traits that some 12% of women show and do. I'm like, huh. But it's a cool article
yeah,
headline, and it got a lot of people to pay attention to it.
yeah, it did.
Yeah. Um, I hope this is the last. I hope this does not become a theme for us.
We could make it a a book club talking about all the stories of
Oh, there
women
we go.
serial
Yes, yes. We'll
killers.
make a new book club just for. Oh, there's a great topic. I should do 1 month on scientific studies for the monthly show sometime. We haven't a story that's came to us because of all the VR, XR stuff that's been going on
Hmm.
especially in regards to Apple. Apple had applied and just recently lost their request to trademark the word reality. Now, I know you're like, that's insane. That couldn't possibly happen. There, there is a thing that they lost their trademark for two reasons. One, the US patent judge said that the case of reality, let's find out what's the exact thing that Apple was going for is reality converter and reality composer
Yes.
is what Apple wanted to trademark that, and nobody else could ever use that name again without giving them credit and paying Apple to use that.
Right. It sounds like from my understanding of the article is that it sounds like a descriptor versus a
Yes.
trademark term.
Yes.
So
Yes, exactly.
it
And then I'll point out the thing you probably missed. One of the reasons why is because there's a Turkish visual effects company called Density
yes.
that already has a trademark on the word reality for using it with their software. I refuse to believe that reality is not a unique thing.
Right. Absolutely true. It made me think of the whole shadows on the cave wall. Can
Yeah,
we trademark
I know.
just those shadows? What
I'm
can we
like,
do?
trademark is there so that you have a thing like iPhone, a very
Mhm.
unique sales mark, trademark idea. Here's a concept we created. Here's a thing. We don't want anyone else using the I something or other to describe stuff other than our own products. That's legitimate. That's great. Kellogg's cornflakes,
Yeah.
you know, reality converter is not a.
And reality composer. I'm composing reality when I get dressed in the
Yes,
morning. I'm
everybody,
choosing my
as we're doing.
avatar for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
day.
yeah.
So, yeah,
It's a crazy thing.
absolutely.
But patents and trademark and copyright are three separate categories. They definitely have a patent on some of their stuff. Apple keeps that patent.
Yes.
Software cannot be copyrighted, so they can't copyright their software. So they're reaching for another way of protecting their stuff by using it as a trademark also. That's probably another monthly show we should do, but I don't know that anybody would want to listen to an hour-long thing on copyright and trademark except for me.
Maybe some lawyers.
Yeah,
Reach out to
yeah.
some
There we go.
lawyers.
I'll go
Yeah.
get a copyright lawyer and have a fun time.
Perfect.
Speaking below, you will have a fun time because you guys have some events coming up out there at Southwest Regional
Yes, we
that are really
do.
fun.
We do. In our maker space here at Southwest, we're actually doing some renovations. So we have a steady stream of participants in some of our programs. We've got adult coloring, get crafty, off the hook. So because we already have
Explain what Off the Hook is
off the hook is for knitting and crocheting. Yes. So
because Creation Station is not just tech.
yes,
We want
exactly.
you to create.
Yes, get creative, make
What will you
something.
create?
Exactly. And we have such a great group of people that already come. So if you're interested in making connections, making new friends, community building, this is definitely the right
Yeah.
branch to look
Southwest
into.
Regional is all the way out there in Pembroke Pines, out past
Yes.
west of 75.
Mhm.
And you have a festival I'm going to be at in like another month.
Yes, we do. Earth Day Festival, No Planet B. It's going to be very fun. We're going to be meeting in April. And we're also in May, we're going to be having our travel expo. Bob's going to be there
Yep.
too.
I'm going
We're
to be
going to
there
get our
I'm doing the virtual reality for
yes.
the travel show. And for the No Planet, I'm going to be exploring that lake out front with the submarine.
Yes. Yeah.
And last year they had an alligator. We're going to see if we can
Ooh,
find another
I
one.
didn't know that. Yeah, I hope so.
No, it's cool. And it's like, okay, everybody get away from the lake because there's an alligator.
Right. But I mean, the
But
travel
it's Florida.
expo after that, we're gonna have U.S. Customs here helping with global entry applications. That's a
Yeah.
big deal. Lots of people don't want to drive to Miami, so please keep an eye out for our travel expo.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
We're gonna have to push that again
Yes,
later on in May when that gets closer because yeah.
Miami traffic.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not gonna deal with that.
I'm not going there.
Thank you so much for
Of
being here,
course.
Anna Marie. Let us throw up our final slide here. If there
Yeah.
is a librarian or library you want to see featured on the show one week, reach out. creationstation@broward.org. And we'll see everybody next week.
Thanks
Have a
so much,
great time.
everyone. Bye.
Subscribe.
Yes. Bye, Bob.